YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Check this out, the much anticipated EC135. Absolutely gorgeous from FlyWing. I believe they call this a 470 class, but I'm not 100% sure. It might be a 450 class. Either way, it's huge and beautiful. It's a little bit bigger than the 412 we just recently did, which is like a Super Huey, and we are gonna fly this thing. I forgot my mic, so the GPS is already locked, and we're just gonna park it right here, and we'll take off from this spot. Okay, real quick, if you guys are having trouble finding GPS, bring it down to 3D. Make sure you're in stop, normal, home, and normal, okay? I also mixed in a special button here, boom, that will kick us one notch up. So if I'm in 3D, all I have to do is quickly press this as like a panic button, okay? We talked about how to do it on a 412 video just the other day. It's the exact same setup. Okay, so real quick, we'll start this. I can get down here and I can see the light is currently purple. If I go down to GPS, it's green. But if that doesn't happen, you can go to 3D and you can move the stick and you can see if it's working. So the collective is gonna move them all up to collectively, and then the cyclic is gonna tip it the direction it's supposed to be. Now I'm gonna go back to GPS just to see. Yep, it's a solid green. So in stop, sticks down and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then run. Now she's ready to take off. You're gonna go over here. So you can see the tail fan is 8 blades. A little bit of a reverberation, a little bit of vibration. We're gonna wait till it gets up to speed. Okay, it's up to speed. Now I'm gonna go up. Okay, very good. And we're just gonna show you that it can hover. And we're gonna give this a GPS heli drone a chance to fail, but we're gonna do it in such a way that we get to enjoy it for a few minutes on the way to Harry Carriedom. That is, if it does that, okay? So just going around, nice gentle inputs. Remember, this thing will overcorrect like crazy when you let go of the cyclic input leaning forward. And I'm gonna show you that next. See, I'm barely giving it any input. Now watch this when I stop. Boom! Gets really aggressive, okay? So forward, let go, very aggressive, almost more than I think makes sense, but we're gonna go ahead and fly it for a minute or two. Camera crew, I'm feeling pretty confident about this, are you?
Okay.
So inside pass here, beautiful, beautiful helicopter. This being, of course, a little bit heavier than some of the others that we have done. The 412 was just real recently. And so, of course, for us, I think we got them just a couple of days apart. And this one's been out for just a wee bit longer, and it is the first one with the ducted fan setup. So it is a little bit different in that regard. But if you coordinate your turns, you can get it to do that even in GPS where it leans. If you don't coordinate your turns, it's gonna look more lame, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So bringing it down here, if you wanna just fly in a circle, you don't have to lean it, but you can lean it if you want. My suggestion is, as with any aircraft, lean into your turns, fly it like an airplane. Okay, now, a couple quick remarks. You can go to 0, which is actually an orbital flight. It will orbit, listen to that tail scream, and it's gonna stay pointed at the center. So like if you had some sort of optics on there, whether it be a camera or an FPV gear or head tracking or whatever, it'd be really good. In fact, we got some head tracking coming. That'd be a good place to put it. Yeah. Okay, so, and then you can also do figure 8, but I'm gonna go to normal, and I'm just gonna fly it down here a little bit closer so you can see. Now keep in mind, this helicopter, okay? This helicopter, if I did a figure 8 now, it'd probably hit us, okay? So I'm gonna go out here over the grass, just a hair, good visibility there. I'm gonna go figure 8 right here. So it does track the tail so that it will fly in this figure 8 pattern. And I say it every time I see this because FlyWing has the same controller in most of their helicopters, but being able to do that is just incredible, folks. And I think you've already seen it on most of the helicopters that we've reviewed for FlyWing. I'm gonna go back to normal flight now, and I just wanna show you this. One thing that's a little bit weird-y about this button that I've set up is that if I were to press this momentarily, it's gonna try to go home. So watch what happens. Yep, there it goes. And you're also gonna notice I have no flight mode. I turn off the flight mode and I just use the signal. And I think I have to reverse this channel, but then I tie channel 10 to this switch and I mix it with -100 and -100, like a -100 offset and a -100 on this side and nothing on that side. But you guys can watch our video about it. It's pretty easy stuff. Once you set that up, you can do this. This is so cool, guys. Okay, so 3D, the scariest part of doing 3D if you're doing it from the air is the switch from regular flight to 3D flight, because you got to take your hands off the sticks if you're a thumb flyer. If you're a pincer gripper, you can probably do it without, okay? For me, I'm gonna hold this momentarily as I switch. Now I'm still in 3D because it kicks it up one step, okay? So now as soon as I let go of this, I'm gonna be on the collective, on the cyclic. Here we go, okay? Now I'm in 3D, that's Brian Phillips RC, all the way flying that helicopter. And if I get confused, disoriented, disappointed, all I have to do is press the button that is literally lined up with my middle finger of my right hand directly under the cyclic. Okay, confused, except I wasn't. That's what it's gonna do. You're also gonna hear an audible change in the pitch because it's gonna go back to the GPS flight mode, okay? So now I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna just leave that switch right where it is, and I'm gonna go ahead and let go and fly it like I stole it again. You see that little drop? That's why the switch condition change is always scary for me, okay? So here we go. Flying it like we stole it. And as you can see, this thing just does fine. I've been learning to fly helicopters, and this helicopter is a FlyWing, which means I would normally tell people FlyWings are not great for learning to fly. They're more great for people that don't know how to fly. But I'm gonna tell you what, if you set up this little panic button that I did, it will be great for learning and great for people that don't want to learn alike. One of my favorite features of this helicopter is the fact that you can bring it out of the GPS mode automatically, or rather on purpose, and you can fly this thing as though it were just a regular sport helicopter, okay? Now, keep in mind this tail definitely struggles to keep up. It is a very slow cyclic rate. I think that's what they call it. But it's like the speed by which you can kick that, that tail around is very limited. And that's because it has that EDF sort of feeling. And you could hear that thing scream just in that small correction I made. So just remember, when you're in 3D mode, one other thing that happens is that if you get to flying real aggressively and you lose your orientation like that, I didn't really lose my orientation as much as I felt like I almost got some wind shear there. I'm inexperienced. I didn't lose the helicopter. If I would have been without this button, I might have lost it because I would have had to come up and feverishly flip this switch.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna come back out of it, a little bit of up collective. I'm just gonna fly it again, okay? Camera crew's good where she is.
So are you back in 3D now?
I'm in 3D, yep. I'm controlling it. This is all Brian Phillips now. And when I say all Brian Phillips, that's kind of a misnomer because there's so many controls that are in this helicopter. It's like 15, 20 years ago, I would have never been able to do this with the helicopters in the market because this has stabilization and all sorts of stuff, but it doesn't have auto leveling on in this feature. Now, what would be really cool is if there was a way to kind of cut back without totally shutting off the auto leveling. Like for instance, I want auto leveling, but I don't necessarily need GPS, so I can slide around, okay? So now, for whatever reason, it just kind of got wonky there, and I think that was wind, right? It's pretty aggressive wind. Doesn't seem like much. Guys, we were muffed up earlier on our mics, but now we're not, okay? But one thing that's nice about this is, guys, I'm flying this with the camera crew, and I can always tell when my camera crew is confident about a helicopter because she freaks out if these things do bad, okay? And
she does.
Admittedly, I do too. Because helicopters could actually hurt you, whereas an airplane, you gotta be really good with your aim to hurt yourself, okay? Or really, really, really bad, one or the other.
Yeah.
So dang cool. So guys, this helicopter has the looks, it has the feel, it has all the stuff. I am gonna warn you though, I've noticed that the other offerings from FlyWing seem to handle the wind quite a bit better. And this one here, I'm sure with some level of practice and confidence, I would be able to say unequivocally it's fine. But I'm still not flipping it upside down, even though FlyWing supposedly fixed some things because of us, supposedly. Let's just put it this way. I'm not counting my chicks before they hatch, which is another way of saying I'll believe it when I see it, okay guys? This helicopter is doing really good today in this wind condition compared to what we've seen, correct? Mm-hmm. This is our second flight, full disclosure, on this particular helicopter. There's nothing really bad that happened on the first flight, but it was very windy.
Yeah.
And so I think we may end up using this flight. It's been a pretty good flight. In terms of 3D, really good. I'm gonna do a 3D landing, meaning I'm in control, just to show you how nice you can make it. Neutral on the sticks. If I were to press this 3D button, it might jump up, so just be careful. I could also go to GPS and then straight to home and it would land, which I haven't shown yet, have I?
No, we haven't
Okay,
actually.
so I'm gonna take off. There we go, just get it in the air, get it flying. Now to transition, I'm gonna press and hold 3D like that. Then I can go to 3D, then I can go home.
You can go to GPS and then go to home.
Yes, that's what you meant to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna let this land. Camera crew and I are gonna walk back quite a bit so that it has room. Go a little faster so that you're back further, hun. I wanna see the horizon as far as all possible. So guys, auto leveling, return to home, all the features that you've come to expect from some of these GPS heli drones are very good. We're about 10 minutes, 20 seconds into flight. I'm getting a little nervous. Hurry up and land, would you?
No kidding.
It's taking forever. But I gotta say, 10 minutes 20, 10 minutes 30, 10 minutes 31, 32. There's a timer. I don't know, we don't hardly ever talk about this, but that timer is counting up. You can change and have timer 2 do other things. I usually don't play with much of the features on this FlySky i6S. What was it?
You missed a letter somewhere in there.
FS i6S or
yeah,
something like that.
Something like that.
Just say it really fast and it all sounds the same anyway.
Yeah.
So go ahead and land. Get on with it. So FlyWing has definitely refined this thing to a piece of art, okay? Now I'm in stop. By the way, sorry if I'm yelling a little bit. My lav mic is close to me, but that helicopter is pretty loud. I really like this helicopter for a lot of reasons. I love the way it flies. It flies good. It doesn't fly as good as the 412, full disclosure. It doesn't fly as good as the 206. The Bell 206, my original first love. Sorry, hon.
Yeah, thanks.
It is really good, okay? But at the same time, one of the things I really like about this helicopter is that it's got a conventional body style of your current medical medevac helicopters. Like the BO-105 body style is a little bit older BO-105. If we had a more modern BO-105 or like a military BO-105, I think that'd be awesome. They do have like the Red Bull offering that kind of caused a stir, I think, in their marketing, and they might have gotten in trouble with Red Bull. But anyway, that one we never did yet, and we didn't do the police one yet, but we might still do them. The gray one was awesome.
The yellow one. And there's the maple leaf one now too.
That's right, yeah. So, but what I'm getting at is the Huey with 2 blades and the Huey with 4 blades. So the Bell Huey, the military version, is awesome. It is beautiful. It's got the, I mean, it sounds like a Huey when it's flying. It's really good flying. It does all the stuff you want. You're gonna love it, okay? And by the way, I believe that's V4. Why? Yes. Because they kept fixing things, okay? You might have to blame me for another V on this because we did have some trouble with our first couple of versions. And what the heck, FlyWing? Come up with a better system for the clips on the front of these canopies. I had to fix this canopy. I had to fix the last canopy. Had to fix the last canopy. I'm getting sick of fixing canopies on $1,000 helicopters, okay? That's like, you know, buying a Ferrari and having to replace the bumper. Like, what the heck? That's so dumb. So fix it. Unacceptable. Also, the blades on the EDF fan, okay? They're beautiful. Come around here. It answers one of my biggest complaints about FlyWing helis, and that is that we have a big, ugly, basically pusher prop looking thing from, you know, yesteryear, or like a drone blade. This one is awesome, but it needs to be stronger. I think that's part of our problem. I don't think, I think what happened is they probably had bigger fans, or they had more aggressive pitch, and they had issues with overheat in the ESC, okay? They have big vents on this thing here, 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 and here. And they probably need every one of them to keep this thing cool, okay? The twin ESC, I guarantee you, gets hot as hell. Yes, I said hell because hell is hot. So it's probably got to be really hot. My issue is, I think we need a little bit more resiliency still, okay, guys? So technically speaking, I could see that as a weakness in this heli. Why? Because I feel less in control on this heli than I do on the others, okay? That being said, I'm also the one that's complaining about the tails not looking a certain way.
Right.
So with that, the only other big complaint I have on this particular helicopter is why at $1,000 price point are we not getting LEDs? Nav lights on the tail boom, possibly a couple forward-facing lights. I want an anti-crash beacon on the top and the bottom. I want one on the tail, something like that. 6, 7 lights, you know. If you guys can squeeze that in there, I'm sure most of us that are willing to spend $1,000 are going to be willing to spend another $20 or $30 or whatever that costs, okay? But beyond that, what an awesome joy. This thing is beautiful. Show the helicopter. Give them some shots of the glass there. It's just really, it's a well done thing. FlyWing does a good job of putting out a product that people want, okay? People want scale helis, all right? That's what they want, okay? I know there's a lot of people that do pod and boom flying, and that's fine. Sport helicopters, if you don't know what that is, like a sport helicopter. I didn't know what it was about 3 years ago. But if you have a helicopter that does all that, I mean, FlyWing does a few of them. I think they have the 450, they have like a 420.
200.
Or 200?
Yep, and
or
then
is
the
it the
450.
220?
I think it's 200.
I don't know, but
450.
we had them. We've got one in the basement. It's like real small.
Yeah, we've got two.
But
two of them.
I like that they have all the full features that we're used to doing. But it's nice for sport flying. Here's my concern, and this is a real concern, okay? I fly Spectrum gear. This is a $65 transmitter, okay? For all intents and purposes, it's a pretty nice transmitter, given that it's in a ready-to-fly package. It's pretty dang nice. But FR Sky, I don't read super high quality, but I like the FlyWing controller that they're using. Mm-hmm. So could I put in a Spectrum receiver and have a little bit more spread spectrum technology, a little bit better, you know, range, things like that? Sure. Could I have it still use the same flight controller? Yeah, pretty much. But am I going to waste my time? No. I don't want to waste my time. But that being said, what I'm getting at is the amount of effort it takes to add this button to make like a panic switch where it's reachable is just, it's pretty dumb.
Well, now that you figured it out.
It's easy now that I figured it out, which we already shared, guys. There should be a video. If the video hasn't been published, are we just gonna like dump it right before
we
this?
Probably will have to so that people can see that if they want to.
But it's a really easy thing, and I've been using it because here's the thing, guys. I am just really starting to get hard on flying these helicopters, really flying them. I want to learn to fly them. I want to fly them like I stole them. I don't just want to do the 3D, you know, the GPS help me out, you know. There's nothing wrong with walking with a walker when you're injured, but when you get better, you want to get off of that, okay? Same thing with safe, AS3X. Guys, if you can get out of safe and unlock the keys to freedom, do it as soon as you can. That's not to say that anybody that uses a crutch or a walker or training wheels or whatever you want to call these aids, a bad pilot or somebody that's like, you know, there's not a problem with it. Just do what it takes to get in the air. And then do it so you don't have to crash $1,000 helicopters. I mean, there is no forgiveness on these helis. When they crash, it's like you're fixing a lot of stuff. Yep. Okay. So those are my thoughts. Do I really like the helicopter? I really like the helicopter. Do I think you're really gonna like it? I think you're really gonna like it. It is very refined, but, and this is a big but, okay? I still think the 412 is better. I still think the 206 is better. I still think the Huey is better. Why? Because this thing excels at being freaking beautiful, and they excel at flying better, okay? That doesn't mean I wouldn't get this thing in a heartbeat if you like it. Truth is, let's say those are flying at a 90%. This is flying at an 80%. or an 85. You know, it's not a huge margin in my book, but if the difference between better flight and better looks is going to help tip the scales for you, that's what we're going to do on Brian Phillips RC. Guys, follow the links in the video description. If you decide to buy this, you really do help support us, okay? They send us commissions. But if you think this sucks and you think the truth that we told you about it and the problems that we had, sharing about that stuff and basically working directly with the manufacturer to fix some of these problems so that they don't release them into your hands, that's part of what we try to do. Is it our job? Kind of not. We're supposed to be reviewing market-ready products, okay? If they come to us and we have to do product development, whatever, okay? We just want to take one for the team once in a blue moon, but that's why you're seeing this about a month and a half late, okay? Yeah. Almost 2 months now.
Yeah.
So special thanks to Sterling Kit for working with us on this, for helping make it right. Sterling Kit stepped up. FlyWing barely did. They hardly accommodated. I was very disappointed. But Sterling Kit, they stepped up, picked up the slack. Or Sterling Kit was lying to us. I doubt it though. They've been very good to work with.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, guys. If we ever have a distributor we work with and they don't take care of you, let us know so we can try to work with them, okay? We want to be bringing you the best on Brian Phillips RC. If there's 6 vendors that sell something, we want the best one to work with us.
Yeah.
Why? Because we want to reach the biggest audience. We want to get the most people hooked on this free sample. That was a joke. There is no free sample. At the end of the day, I just love this hobby. I want to see it grow. I want the best distributors that take the best care of you guys to be the ones that you go to first.
Yeah.
And if there's some B-list distributor that sells it for 2% less, trust me, pay the premium every time.
And we had somebody that bought one, not through one of our links, and it ended up being a fake. Sterling Kit site.
So guys,
it was missing the G or something like that.
We can't help you if that happens. The dark web is real. There's people that are out there screwing you.
Yep.
Okay? Don't get screwed. Follow our links. If something looks fishy, hit us up. We will do our best to fix it before you have to make a decision. But I'm going to tell you something. This is an awesome heli. You will really enjoy it. And if you don't, let us know that too. Guys, leave it in the comments below. Let us know if you've had some issues and let us know how you dealt with it. Okay? Love this helicopter. Support us. Buy it from the links. That's the #1 way you can support Brian Phillips RC, because we want to expand this hobby. We want to expand our relationships. We want to expand our audience. Those are all things that we're trying to not hide behind, but we stand behind because we tell the full truth. Nothing but the truth, so help us God. And that's because at the end of the day, you could go watch a million other people give you a good success story every time there's a helicopter flown, but we try to show you the stuff they screwed up on so you can make a decision, okay? She's honking at me. Okay, so what else? If you don't want to support us by buying from the link and your wife threatened to leave you, I mean, you could always just tip the UPS guy. Snakes in the basement. Those are the usual excuses. But at the end of the day, Patreon, monthly support. YouTube members, monthly support. YouTube super thanks, one-time donations. Patreon for one-time, or excuse me, PayPal for one-time donations, and then a P.O. box. If you need to send us something, let us know so we know to expect it. There's 5 different ways. But the best is, watch the videos, smash the like button, click the bell when you're subscribing, and then buy them when you see them from the links in the video description below. If you want to compare and contrast, go to brianphillipsrc.com or bprc.me, and you can see all of the freaking millions of helicopters we've reviewed. And over the years, guys, you have to remember, I am a fixed wing scale RC pilot. That's why we have runways. If I was doing helicopters, I could fly them off, off of a garbage can lid.
It'd be way easier.
I would need 1,500 feet of concrete.
Yeah.
And a damn gift shop.
Man,
why don't we just do helis?
Screwed up.
You know why? Because this channel didn't start because we were trying to make money, like some of our competitors. We started because I love it. Weird! And you might be able to tell because I obnoxiously, relentlessly at your service for RC.
Is that their thing?
Obnoxiously, relentlessly at your service. That's Mid-American Energy.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, Mid-American Energy has a lot of our money.
Yeah.
You may have noticed the polls. People always jokingly, I hope it's jokingly, they're like, did they bury your power lines? Yeah, after I gave them $24,263 personal check. They did that. Oh, but that was only 3 years after I gave them $35,000 to run it down the road.
The first time.
Fortunately, they covered 10 of it.
They're our favorite.
So, there it is, guys. Live in the country, it's expensive. Build an aerodrome, it's even worse. Fly helicopters.
Could have been cheaper.
Priceless?
No.
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 No, it's not. There's definitely a price, guys. All right, check it out. Links in the video description below. Unbox next. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. YouTube, Brian Phillips. We're gonna unbox this thing. Obviously, it's FlyWing, because that's what it says. But also, it's FlyWing, because that's what we were expecting to show up. So this is gonna be awesome. I'm super excited for this one. As you guys may have noticed on the channel, I get pretty excited about scale aircraft, and not the least of which is this particular aircraft. So we're gonna open it up if I could ever get the tape to cut. We're gonna show you the unbox build radio setup portion of this thing right now, and it's gonna be awesome. Oh, you guys already know what it is. It's an EC135. Look at that, amazing.
Surprise.
So we're gonna open it. So by the way, if you're buying this as a gift for somebody, you might wanna capture it quick because you're gonna know what it is right away.
Yep.
Okay, so how does it come packed? Got some foam, got a quick start guide, don't really care what that says, and we got a battery. I know you guys are super excited about the battery. It's probably your top primary thing you wanna get done.
Everybody does that.
But that's on that fiery
else.
ball. It's going over the horizon as we speak. And so I have to start charging this thing. Now, the battery that comes with this is 5,000 milliamp 4S, okay? So we have other batteries, as you can see, there's a whole stack of them right here, and they're all very good. We've not really had any problems with them. So I am gonna go ahead and plug this in, full disclosure, to our smart charger, so switch sides. We're gonna plug this in first, and then I'm gonna show you the charger that comes with it. So we're at 3.8. The only reason I'm doing this now is because I wanna get this thing charging while we talk. All right, so this is a 5,000 milliamp hour, so we can set this to 5 amps, okay? And you could actually, on this battery, you could probably go 10 amps because it'd be about 2C, and then that will buy us some additional time, okay? So now that that's starting, we'll watch this thing build up, and we'll press the down arrow, we can check how it's balancing. Okay, very good. We'll get back to unbox. So first things first, you're welcome to Brian Phillips RC. We unbox them, we build them, we set them up. We even use the provided charger, unless we're in a big hurry. So we're gonna show you.
Fastest battery charging you've ever done.
Transmitter, beautiful. Yours will not come with batteries. This feels heavy. Nope, no batteries.
Okay.
4 AA's, rechargeable, chargeable, doesn't matter to me. You're gonna press both of these to turn it on, and so on and so forth. There is a gimbal mount here, or for like holding a phone, but we don't really use it in that. Normal mode, stop, home, and why is that not labeled? I don't know. Why does that not say anything? Isn't it supposed to say something?
That's...
Can you open that?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
it says no function.
No function. Okay.
Yeah, on this one. Sorry.
Come back. Blades.
Okay.
4 of them. You're probably thinking, oh, I have to screw in my blades. Don't worry. It will take literally seconds, okay? And yes, when you have blades like this, it's so nice because they snap in. Well, not so much snap in, but it's a pressure fit. So it goes in, rotates, and locks in. And by the way, these things are beautiful, and they do have metal embedded in them. So they're very strong. I thought the first time thinking, that's chintzy as heck. Nope, I was wrong. There's lots of metal in there. Oh, and there's more stuff. Look, right here, we've got some charging cable things. We've got a multi-tool, which is nice. And then we have a USB A to C, show the people. I'm sorry, camera crew. We'll pick up with the charger if you don't mind.
A to C.
Okay, so we're gonna unplug this. We'll actually grab one of the other batteries that we don't intend to fly with right now just to show you that it works real quick. Full disclosure, we don't ordinarily do that, but we're not ordinarily up against the sunset so quick. And so here on Brian Phillips RC, I really like flying. You may have noticed. All right, so plugged in. This is a new style charger. So we haven't seen this style from FlyWing. Of course, FlyWing just sells whatever they're getting from their suppliers too. So it says a percentage basis, that's nice. And it says 3.85 volt storage or charge, 4S LiPo, pretty cool. So let's take this Airwolf battery, okay? So Airwolf, 5,000 milliamp hour, this is probably charged. So let's go ahead and plug this in and see what it says, okay? Plug it in and there it is. So it's at 98%, so I could go to discharge and then it will actually discharge this. Now, out of curiosity, can you unplug it? I wonder, yeah, it looks like you might be able to unplug it. Go back so they can see, unplugged. Nah, shut off. Okay, I didn't know if that was gonna happen or not. So I plugged it back in, and now it's at discharge. So that will slowly drain that down. Look, we'll come back and check it here in a minute. See if it's actually working. I can hear my chargers over there sound like a data center, okay? So we're gonna finally get the Heli out. Oh yeah. Okay, foam to protect the foam from the foam. Oh man, that is so gorgeous. Oh, cool. You talk about restraint, waiting to open this, holy cow. All right guys, here it is. So it's in here, seems pretty tight. I'm just gonna, oh, there's a bind plug down here too. If you needed to bind, we don't need to bind, okay? So this is a ready to fly the way we're showing it. But just so you know, I believe you can, on some of these FlyWing helis, you can get them if you wanna save a few bucks, if you wanna use the same transmitter, you can maybe do that. Okay, so let's see how this comes out. First of all, this is kind of delicate. I wouldn't pull on it, but I'm gonna pull on the landing gear. No, how about I do this? I'm gonna just try to take the whole dang thing out like this.
Okay.
Just because I just don't trust myself. I'm gonna see if it'll slide out.
Yes.
Carefully.
Slowly. The foam is coming out.
But the helicopter's not falling, right?
No, it's not.
Okay. So we have not had a lot of problems with our packaging from FlyWing, but this plane, or this airplane, this helicopter is so dang gorgeous. I just don't want it to be the first time, okay? All right, so pulling it out, we'll lay this out of the way. Okay, so the bottom is here, so I'm just gonna flip it up now. Oh yeah. Now you can just slide this whole thing away. Oh yes, it's so gorgeous.
That is really snug.
Yeah, why is it so tight? I don't understand it. Okay, so let's try this. I'm gonna come over here so you guys can see. I'm gonna grab this. You guys noticed already. There is basically an EDF fan here. So gorgeous. Okay, so now I'm gonna just plop this back in the box and we will deal that after we're done flying. But good Lord, look at the finish. The blade is absolutely gorgeous. Brushless motor, ducted fan. But look how detailed this is, and it's matte.
So pretty.
It is just that. But look, broken.
Oh, clip.
That is not the first time we've seen that from FlyWing. So not sure what they're gonna do to change it, but I can tell you this. If that's broken, there's 4 other pins that go through, and they go here, 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 and here. And then they have this thing stupidly zip tied to the actual heat sink. I hate that. I'm changing it right now, just like we always do. And yes, the sun is going down. The camera crew has closed the windows for some reason. I'm gonna open them back up so you guys can see. With regard to cutting this zip tie, I just wanna cut it, and I'm gonna pull a zip tie back through, and I'll show you exactly what I wanna do here, okay? Beautiful, beautiful heli. Super annoying that that broke. We fixed it before, it's not that big a deal. In fact, we might link to something else if we can get the thing flying right now. But I just think this is system critical. I don't like having that there. I'm cutting it right now. I wanna get in here, carefully cut this. See how I've got the cutting point away from the wires? Can you move the camera so they can see that? All the way toward my shoulder. Pull back toward my shoulder. You see how this cutting device is going up? Right like that. I don't want to go in there and turn it sideways and accidentally damage the wiring, so you got to do that real carefully, okay? If you're going to copy my advice, my suggestion is get that away from the heatsink as much as you can reasonably do, okay? Remember, this is a dual ESC, so it's an electronic speed control that does both functions, okay? So then I'm going to tie it right there, okay? You see right there? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go around that thing. And then hopefully it doesn't make it too hard to fit the battery, but if I recall, this should give us a little bit of room for extra space, okay? So this won't hurt our wiring at all, but then it's also gonna protect us from the risk, the vulnerability. We've got a little bit of delamination there on that edge. Not excited about that. Not at this price point, folks. So these are quite expensive. You may have noticed the tariff situation has hit the RC hobby pretty thick and hard, and that's obviously an issue. Okay, camera crew, throw those away, please. All right, XT60 equipped in here. We've got our GPS unit. This, of course, is the actual flight controller. Make sure that all your wires are pressed in. This is a good time, and maybe your only opportunity if one of them isn't. But I always double check this stuff before we fly our helis 100% of the time. and pressing that in, okay? And then right here, you can see you have a nice big opening. Some of the Helis, that's where the battery would go. On this one, it goes down here, okay? And I did notice on a few of these helicopters, we've got bigger openings. Okay, so let's see how this goes. First, you slide it in vertical like this, okay? And then get it in there and then give it a twist. Half twist and then it goes in. Well, it's actually a quarter twist to be specific, okay? And then I like to do 2 of them first so they're opposing one another. So vertical first. And remember, these are sharp as sharp gets, so be careful. You can cut yourself with them. And I'm not talking about at speed. Obviously, at speed you can cut yourself. But you can cut yourself idle because they're so sharp, okay? These things are practically knives, okay? And that's good. That's all about efficiency there, okay? Now, would I be pissed if my canopy was broke? I would be, because I am. I'm annoyed. But what are you gonna do? We're gonna fix it. I'm gonna hopefully be able to get it on there so we can get this in the air right away because I'm super excited. Okay, so in, make sure they're pulled all the way out. So if you're not sure, just look at the corresponding blade and look at this gap here. Does the gap look about the same? Yes, it does. And it's a little hard on the servos to twist them like that, but I just like to get everything nice and level so I can evaluate things, make sure it's all in the right orientation. Now, of course, there isn't gonna be any pitch change on the tail because it is a fixed blade, okay? So this is on here, looks like a brushless motor, and there's a singular screw that goes in and secures it. I wish we had a spare one of those that came with us because it looks like it's a little bit lighter duty than I'd like to see. Of course, we have the customary metal pegs that help hold the canopy on, so I'm hoping that's enough to hold this one on. Let's see. Okay, so sliding it in, obviously there's nothing to clip, so it's shown from above. There's only so much I can do to make that easy, hon. Okay, so just trying to line up those holes, and we have alignment. Yeah, so it's in now, but it's not gonna be retained at all, okay? So what we're gonna have to do is, while the battery's charging, because the clouds are going over the hill, the camera crew is going to pause, get some 4 batteries, and I'm gonna show you exactly what we're doing to fix this. All right, so we've got some paper clips. Yeah, just regular run-of-the-mill paper clips, but before we do that, we're gonna install the batteries. Camera crew grabs some AA's. AA's are pretty simple. Put the flat to the spring, press it in. On Brian Phillips RC, we leave no stone unturned, so you don't have to wonder what you're gonna get. And for that reason, we are gonna go ahead and fix this canopy again. We did have to, full disclosure, fix this canopy on one of our helicopters. I can't remember if it's a BO-105, but it was something we had to fix, okay? So power on. Fly Sky, this is a touch screen. You can press and unlock. I don't really care. I'm not gonna change anything there. And the sticks here, you'll notice they're spring loaded on mode 2. This is your up and down, your yaw, so it spins it this way. Then of course you lean forward with this stick, you lean back with this stick, you lean to the sides, okay? When you let go, it should automatically level. And the only way to come out of that mode, you would go down to 3D. Now, if you unlock a feature on some of the FlyWing Helis, you can plug into this USB-C port right here where it says USB on the flight controller, and then you can download their software and turn on an advanced mode, and it will sometimes fly upside down using the unused switch. Its unused switch is not even labeled on this transmitter, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and power this down by pressing both, and it gives you a nice song on the way out. Okay, so how are we gonna fix this? We have to use something that's gonna go in there. It's gonna be big enough. This is called an ideal clip. If you don't have an ideal clip, you could just use a regular, larger style, you know, paper clip, but these just have a little bit bigger diameter. So we're gonna go with one of those. I'm gonna make one that's crappy. I've got crappy ones and I got good ones. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna try to use. And so in order to do this, of course, we got a beautiful canopy. We're gonna have to fix it right away, which just irritates me to death. Okay, so I'm gonna clip this side cutter style, and then I'm gonna be prepared to dive that in. So I gotta heat it up and make pressure on the outside. So there's a couple different ways to do that. We're gonna have to use, oh, and by the way, full disclosure, my battery is about 4.19, and it is charging at 99%, so it's slowing down the process of charging. That's not uncommon at the very last sequence of charging on a smart charger. And real quick, we'll just grab this and start bending. Now keep in mind, this is something hopefully you won't have to do, but we do like to leave no stone unturned. You'll see it's all epoxied in there, but I have no clue why they keep having problems with this particular apparatus, but it's pretty annoying for us as influencers because we would love to be able to come to you and say, hey, we didn't have a problem. So I guess it is what it is. If you're stupid enough to send products that are broken, then I guess that's what we're gonna show. So we actually want it to be just like your experience so that you can make a value judgment. This is an expensive item, okay? And that's gonna go in there and it's gonna mimic the look. Now my hope is, I don't wanna make it melt through too far because then it'll shoot through and be ugly, okay? But in this case, I need to take a little bit of the length off or I need to bend it, but it's gonna be hard to press it in. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit of the length off and you can kind of see where this is going, guys. Look, it's gonna be something like that. And then once it's in, I can go ahead and bend it. So I need to be at a bit of an angle so it doesn't just press in out of the way as I try to secure it in the plane or the fuselage of the aircraft. I keep saying plane because we do a lot of planes on Brian Phillips RC. If you're brand new to the channel, click the bell when you're subscribing to get notified of new content. Now you notice this is the wide spot here, so I need that to be up a little bit. And that'll get us a little bit deeper penetration, but it can penetrate past. I just want that to be out like that. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and bend this just a little bit. So if you're brand new to Brian Phillips RC, there's a few ways to support the channel. If you're getting some good out of this video, you can buy from the links in the video description below, and that'll help us to fund the channel with small contributions in the form of commissions when you guys buy these aircraft. But at the end of the day, you guys need to understand that we are here to serve you, our audience, and not necessarily the companies we work with, which is why we're not afraid to talk about the problems. Like for instance, this thing broken. Most of the other influencers are just gonna not mention it. Or worse yet, they'll lie. Okay, sorry guys, I dropped that on the floor. So we paused while I was fixing that, grabbing this with another pair of pliers and just making a tight bend here. As you can see, I'm just trying to get that curled over. And once we get this nice angle, then I can do a little bit of a bend back like this. And all I'm trying to do is mimic that bite point. Okay, so that's probably about right. And I think I'm gonna cut off just a hair more of this length, okay? So now why am I holding it with this? Because I'm trying to simulate what I'm gonna need to do here in a minute, and that is to heat it up and stick it into this plastic, okay? So real quick, I'm just gonna simulate what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold this over the flame from my stove and I'm gonna stick this in and try to get about the right purchase. And we want this burner. So yep, that's right. Here on Brian Phillips RC, we use the stove to heat up our metal.
Somebody was asking for more cooking videos the other day. I don't think that's what they had in mind.
I don't think this was either. Hold still, don't move. Okay, that's a good position, but I need a little bit more heat. And yes, guys, our stove is really dirty, so the camera crew is going to embarrassingly not film that chunk, right?
Right.
Get it glowing. Not enough penetration yet. Getting close. Getting pretty stuck. Okay, so I'm hoping that that's gonna work. Now you can see my alignment's a little bit off, but it's gonna cool and it's gonna be just fine. Obviously the sun is setting over the hill and the horizon is going to be dark quick because of the clouds, okay? So I'm getting nervous about being able to fly tonight. This thing should fly itself because it is, after all, a GPS heli drone. And yes, that is a name that I came up with. Let's go ahead and touch this and see if it's hot. It's actually not too bad. I can touch it. Touch and hold, okay?
Good.
So it's good. So now what I wanna do is I wanna get my adjustments made to this exact fine tune it. So I know there's probably gonna be like 6 or 7 of you that have this happen because we've had a couple of them break now. And it's pretty annoying that we have to do this, but I'm gonna tell you this. When you get these helis, you're gonna be like, whatever. You're gonna get over it so quick because it is like awesome flying these things. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this with my pliers. I'm gonna use my needle nose because I just don't wanna break it. So I'm gonna brace it and then I'm gonna bend it down just a little bit, okay? So you can see we're getting that nice little bend, get the angle to agree. Camera crew is gonna try to get you guys a shot of the steps here. So now I don't know if that's gonna be good enough yet. We'll try it real quick. It might be. So if you want to shine the camera down into the windows, you see I've got that hook point. And you got to remember, we're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for something that's going to hold it in there, okay? Because these are not perfect fitting anyway. We've had a few that fit really bad. We've had a few that fit really good. Okay. And to be honest with you, you're in my light. There we go. Okay. So it's in now, but you can see we have a little bit too much slop still, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this back out. And see, it'll keep it from popping off altogether, but I need to curl this back down a little bit, okay? So in order to curl it back down, I'm going to brace it and then bend it right here. I'm just using run-of-the-mill tools here, nothing special. But if you do see a tool on Brian Phillips RC on a video that we make, and you're wondering where we got it or when you can get like it, check out the supplies tab on brianphillipsrc.com or bprc.me, and you can find all the tools that we use on a routine basis up to and including China glue, which we use all the time, okay? Not necessarily because I make a lot of mistakes as a pilot, but just because we glue a lot of stuff together, and then I also make a lot of mistakes as a pilot. So let's see if this works. Okay. And I've done this now twice, so I'm starting to get the hang of it, but this is something I don't want to have the hang of. Okay, so now I need to squish this down. I need to go this way with it. So I'm gonna see if I can squish it down, but I don't want it to spin, and I don't want to put a bunch of pressure. Careful of your elbow. Okay, so I'm gonna brace this here so it doesn't pivot. And guys, if you used a smaller type of clip, you would have more problems, okay? So that's why I use the ideal clips. You got a little bit more girth to this steel. Okay, so let's see if we can get that in there. And that battery's gotta be done. Did it beep?
I don't hear it, but I think it's green.
Okay, so look. What do you mean?
I think the green status bar is green, so it should be.
Okay, so you see that? So now it's in there. So let's see if it pulls out. See, now I just gotta open that so that it runs into itself, so it braces it, okay? So I just gotta go a little bit more wide on the entire apparatus. So this should be pretty easy. I can just go a little bit like that until we get a bite. Okay, and you can see once you get this lined up, and once you do this, if you have to do this, which would be regrettable, then it's, you know, it's one and done. It's kind of not a big deal after that. Okay. And I'm sure if you guys were in a pinch, you could just order a new canopy too. Okay. All right. So you see, we still got a little bit of play. It's wanting to allow it to come off, but it's not going to undo totally, I don't think, on its own.
Okay. Okay.
So we're getting close. And as we continue to do this, we are getting closer and closer to completely losing our weather window. So guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we appreciate you being here. If you've got comments about the way that we fix our stuff or the way that we review our aircraft, let us know down in the comments section below. If you have questions, let us know that too. Okay, so now I need to figure out a way to get that over quite a little bit. So I need to take my curl and uncurl it a little bit, and that's gonna bite it and hold it in position. So I think we've got it pretty dang close now. So obviously a little bit of guess and check here, folks. Don't have to exactly be an aircraft mechanic to do this. I'm not an aircraft mechanic. If you guys weren't already aware, I work on industrial scales for a living. That's my day job. Then of course I'm obsessively, relentlessly at your service here on this channel, here with my wife. This is Brian Phillips RC. Welcome to Brian Phillips RC. We hope we answered at least a few questions for you today and got you in a position where you're ready to make the plunge, take the plunge, get you out of the chair into the air, and not the least of which, possibly on this particular item. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this as a beginner aircraft, even though it is probably something you can fly. You just got to be careful. Helis have a high consequence ratio. And what that means to me is, okay, so that's still got a little bit of springiness to it. What I mean is when something goes wrong, it's usually catastrophic on a routine basis with helis. The cool thing is you can get a lot of parts for helis, more so than you can for most airplanes. You get airplane parts, but I almost never have to order them. A lot of you guys tell me about the parts you've ordered in the past, but I've always been about trying to fix them myself, which is why we do a lot of repairs on this channel, okay? So I don't mean to take anything away from just ordering the part.
That seems pretty good.
It's just right there on the cusp of being what I would consider to be as good as the factory fit, but it's just not quite there. So I'm gonna just try a little teeny bit more unbending of this. I just do not want it to come undone while we're trying to fly, because that would be a potential for catastrophic failure, okay? Remember, if this thing pops off while you're flying, you don't know what it's gonna do. Is it gonna go up and get sucked up into the rotor? Is it just gonna pop off and get damaged? Is it gonna get scratched? Is it gonna get destroyed? Is it gonna take the helicopter with it? And that's why you gotta do the right thing and don't listen to the camera crew and just think it's good enough. Okay. Look at that, guys. That's probably a factory fit right there. Okay, give them a vertical shot of that. I'm gonna grab the battery. And yes, we did harm at least one ideal clip in the making of this video. So as you can see, we chopped it up, but that cost us what, like 10 cents or whatever it cost for one of those?
Probably not, even that.
And if you had a regular chunk of steel and you want to use it, that's fine, but spring steel or landing gear material is what I would recommend at minimum, okay? So guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we do strive to tell the full truth, nothing but the truth shall help us God. But obviously on these circumstances, let's look at the camera. Let's look at this. See this? It says it's done. Charge done. What does that mean? Charge means it's at 4.19. So we're gonna pop this off of the charger and we've got this battery ready to rock and roll. And then this one, doesn't look like maybe it started. But let's see, is it warm? Oh yeah, it's warm. Feel it. So it's trying to discharge
definitely.
it.
Maybe it's just
But I just wonder if it's like really slow, but I can definitely tell it's trying to store it. Well, let's see what happens when we plug this in. 96%. So maybe it's just really bad at updating the screen. So for now, I'm gonna just go with, yeah, I mean, the charger's obviously going to do something, but that's not exactly why people are buying this thing. It's not for the charger, it's for the heli experience, okay? So a couple things to talk about. Camera crew is going to show you in the manual where it says what you need to do with the switches. I already know what to do with the switches, but we are literally losing light. And so here at the end of our Unbox build radio setup, we want to make sure you guys understand that we really do care about giving you the best bang for your buck, your RC buck. And one of the best things you can do to help support Brian Phillips RC is watch the videos, smash the like button if you enjoyed the content, or maybe if you didn't enjoy it, but you still like us, or you like what we're doing with our property, or you like what we do with aircraft in general, it would be much appreciated. Because remember, long format content is a dying art. People are going almost exclusively to shorts. But when you need help, do you go watch a short? Not so much. You're gonna watch long format content to try to get the answer to your question. And so that's what we do, and we're gonna keep doing it as long as we can make it work. But it only works if you guys keep coming back. So thanks for being here with us. Thanks for smashing the like button and clicking the bell for notifications. And you do subscribe, and thanks for buying these things. When you buy them, it helps us to bolster the relationships we have with the different vendors, even though we have to badmouth them about stupid crap that happens, because sometimes stuff happens. Okay, let's talk about this. She hasn't found it, or you have?
No, I was showing it while you were talking.
Once you're plugged in, sticks down and out, right?
Yes.
Down and out. You have to be in stop. Then you'll switch to run. It'll start spinning up the tail, then it's gonna come to speed. Make sure it's fully up to speed before you give it up.
Yes.
Okay? I don't like plugging these in inside because it can't find GPS, but we probably will go ahead and get the battery loaded in here. And just because we have a little bit of a finicky canopy, I am gonna go ahead and load it in here, okay? So it is able to come on and off, okay? But I can definitely tell somebody had to modify this to get that canopy to fit, okay? So at some point, I'm gonna have to come in here with some CA or some glue and fill that hole. I don't know why that was there. By the way, if you use CA and a Q-tip or something with cotton, it'll fill that hole and it makes it really strong and robust, similar to fiberglass, okay? So this strap is real handy to go in here. And if you ever wanna check the CG on a helicopter, you just pick up the helicopter with the rotor sideways like this, okay? So let's see, this is not gonna fit vertically, I don't think. But you can see my little wire here is fine. That wire tie does not prevent that battery from going in, but it's a good thing they sent this strap. We're gonna need it because that is going to give us something to hang on to the battery with
Don't break your skids by pressing down too hard. I'm supporting the weight of the helicopter with my fingers, and as you can see, that's got a little bit of movement on it. So you might want to do some shelf liner if you're concerned about doing heavier 3D. We're going to be doing mostly scale flying with this thing. And I don't worry about doing battery monitors or anything in these helis because they do a great job of monitoring the voltage. Also keep in mind that if you modify your hooks because yours comes broken or you break it yourself, be careful that that can engage the balance lead. So just make sure it doesn't get tangled. That's why I did that curl. And then I'm going to plug this in. First I'm going to do is turn this on. I'm gonna make sure I'm in stop, normal, home, and then I'm gonna plug it in, okay? It's gonna search for GPS, but it won't find anything, okay? Make sure that when you plug this in, it doesn't have pressure on it, and it's not in a position where if it were to yank forward, it would unplug the battery, okay? So that's one thing that's got me a little bit concerned about the way this battery is fitting. You can't put it this way, and of course they put the Velcro on the stupidest possible way, because if they just put the Velcro on the correct side, it wouldn't be a problem. That stuff drives me crazy. Because like, really?
Yeah, right.
You couldn't just get the Velcro on the right side? Like, you guys were the ones that made this helicopter. Okay, sorry FlyWing. When you screw up, we're gonna point it out, especially when you have broken stuff that shows up at my door. Okay, right here, stick it down, wrap this around, press it down gently. Don't break your skids, because I'm pressing down, but not hard on the aircraft, just hard on. I'm supporting myself as I do that. You'll break this board, you'll break your skids pretty easy. And you'll notice now it can't slip, but let's check CG. How bad are we? Okay, remember we got this canopy that's gonna sit on here. Just make sure it's not super aft. It's a little bit, but I think we're okay. We're within the range of where I would say that's normal. I might bring the battery forward just a hair. Okay, pull it forward just a little bit, stick it back down. We'll try again, okay? So down we go. All right, good deal. All right, so now we're gonna plug this in. And this is where I kind of freak out because I don't like having these things in an arming, compromising position, okay? Not super worried about the beeping, although I don't recognize the beeping, do you?
No, but it's probably trying to find GPS.
Okay, that'd be cool if it beeped, okay? So just, okay. So, I don't think it found GPS, but we're gonna go outside. Guys, thanks for watching. This is our Unbox Build radio setup. As you can see, the helicopter is alive, but nothing moves. So remember, GPS heli drones, I don't wanna say you have to throw all caution to the wind, but the best thing you can do is keep it low, make sure things are gonna be good. If you're really concerned, take off close to tall grass, you might have a second chance. But my experience is when these things come in heli-carry, boom, it's done. It's over. It's not gonna give you a lot of second chances, but these things should fly themselves if all goes to plan. All right, hopefully we answered all your questions. The sun is setting. What a beaut. Unbox Build radio setup is done. Come back for more. Thanks for watching.